A person sits at their kitchen table, sipping coffee and enjoying a peaceful morning. They look around, appreciating the home they've lived in for 15 years. Memories of raising children in the house flash through their mind. A sense of pride and relief washes over them as they recall surviving the 2008 crash. They feel secure, confident in their timely mortgage payments. They think about the equity they've built up as the housing market has soared. A stack of mail sits on the table, one envelope standing out with an unfamiliar logo. Curious, they open the letter from First Capital Recovery Partners. Their expression shifts from curiosity to confusion as they read the letter. Shock and fear set in as they realize it's a foreclosure notice. The letter claims they owe $45,000 plus $60,000 in interest. A warning in the letter states their house will be auctioned in 30 days if they do unpay. Panic overtakes them. Reach for their phone to call their bank. They anxiously explain the situation to a bank representative. The bank reassures them that their mortgage is current and they owe nothing extra. Confusion and dread mix as they hang up, realizing something is very wrong. A shadowy, menacing figure labeled zombie looms metaphorically behind the house. A montage shows similar letters arriving at homes across the country. Families in different states react with shock and fear to their own foreclosure notices. A ticking clock graphic appears, symbolizing a financial time bomb set in 2008. The scene shifts to Nick, who leans back as intro music swells. Nick introduces himself, speaking directly to the audience. He explains his obsession with obscure debt laws and banking fine print. Nick encourages viewers to subscribe and like the video for more financial insights. Sets the stage for the episode. Zombie mortgages. Nick outlines the episode's topics: the math behind debt, psychology of forgotten loans, and how to check for zombie mortgages. He transitions with, "Let's get into it." Nick leans forward, signaling the start of part 1. Graphics illustrate the years 2004 to 2007, setting the historical context. Nick describes the Wild West of the housing market during those years. A flashback sequence shows people easily getting approved for home loans. Home prices rise rapidly as buyers scramble to keep up. A family looks worried, realizing they don't have enough for a down payment. Nick explains the traditional 20% down payment rule. A visual of a PMI private mortgage insurance bill appears, with a big "no one likes this" stamp. Bankers in suits brainstorm, coming up with creative solutions. A chalkboard diagram breaks down the 80/20 loan structure. A hopeful couple signs paperwork for a $300,000 home. The loan splits: $240,000 as the first mortgage, $60,000 as the second mortgage. A document labeled Home Equity Line of Credit or Piggyback Loan is signed. The couple celebrates, having put $0 down and avoided PMI. A montage of Americans happily moving into new homes with similar loans. A sense of euphoria and optimism fills the air. Suddenly, the mood shifts as the year 2008 flashes on screen. A dark cloud descends over neighborhoods across the country. News headlines announce the housing market crash. Families watch in horror as home values plummet. Foreclosure signs pop up on lawns everywhere. The hopeful couple from earlier receives a foreclosure notice. They sit at their kitchen table, devastated and confused. A montage of families packing up and leaving their homes. The shadowy zombie figure reappears, looming larger than before. The narrative returns to the present, with Nick preparing to explain how these zombie debts have returned. A visual representation of the housing bubble bursting, showing home values plummeting. A family looks shocked as they see the value of their home drop from $300,000 to $100,000. A close-up of a mortgage statement showing the original purchase price of $300,000. A breakdown of debts: $240,000 owed to the first bank, $60,000 to the second bank. A visual of a calculator tallying up total debt: $300,000. A comparison chart showing home value at $200,000 versus total debt at $300,000. A person looking distressed, realizing they are underwater on their mortgage, pickled, losing jobs, depicted by empty desks and worried faces. A family sitting at a kitchen table, deciding which bills to pay. A hand placing the first mortgage statement at the top of a pile, signifying priority. A second mortgage statement being set aside, ignored. A bank office, staff reviewing files and deciding not to pursue second mortgages. A visual of a foreclosure process, showing the house being sold for $200,000. A diagram illustrating the first mortgage being paid off first, leaving nothing for the second mortgage holder. A second bank employee looking disappointed, realizing they get nothing from foreclosure. A bank issues a charge-off notice, filing paperwork. Nick pauses, emphasizing the importance of understanding charge-off. A visual of the word charge-off, with a definition overlay, not forgiven, which is moved to loss column. A bank's accounting ledger, moving the debt from asset to loss. A contract and lien document showing the debt still exists. A mailbox with fewer letters, phone calls stopping, and statements disappearing. Person feeling relieved, believing the debt is gone. A government bailout headline flashes on a TV screen. A person declaring bankruptcy, thinking the lien is wiped. A lawyer reviewing paperwork, possibly missing the lien removal. Time passes, calendar pages flipping through 15 years. Part 3. The Awakening title appears. Nick changes tone, urgency increases. A housing price chart rockets upward from 2020 to 2024. A flashback to the $300,000 house, now worth $600,000. A Wall Street office. Hedge fund analysts reviewing spreadsheets of old charged-off loans. A debt collector sees a $60,000 debt from 2006 on their screen. A bank selling the $60,000 debt for $500 to a debt buyer. A debt collector runs an automated valuation, seeing the home is now worth $600,000. A mortgage balance sheet showing only $150,000 left on the first mortgage. Nick does quick math with his hands, calculating $450,000 in equity. A visual of the second mortgage, now secured by home equity. A debt collector smiles, realizing they can now collect the full amount. The zombie debt is reactivated. Part 4. The math of the nightmare title appears. An interest calculator appears on screen. Nick explains the misconception. You owe much more than $60,000, a timeline showing 15 years of silence, but interest still accruing. A chart showing variable interest rates at 9 to 10%. A rule of 72 graphic, illustrating debt doubling every 8 years. A timeline from 2008 to 2024, showing debt doubling twice. Numbers crunching on screen. Original loan, $60,000, interest $110,000, legal fees $5,000, late fees $3,000, a total demand statement $178,000. A person shocked, realizing they owe $180,000 instead of $60,000. A foreclosure notice being delivered. A family looking at their home, realizing they might lose it. A person trying to get a new loan, but being denied due to a notice of default. A visual of being trapped, unable to escape the debt nightmare. A person opens a letter and looks shocked as they realize it's from a debt collector. A thought bubble appears above their head. This is a scam. Another thought bubble. This is too old. There's a statute of limitations. A visual timeline appears, showing different statute of limitations. 6 years, 10 years. The person calculates, it's been 15 years, I'm safe. A big red wrong stamp appears over the timeline. A split screen shows two concepts. Right to sue for cash versus right to foreclose on house. The right to foreclose timeline stretches much longer than the right to sue timeline. A new timeline shows a lien lasting 20, 30, or 40 years. A sneaky debt collector drafts a letter. Just pay $500 as a good faith payment. The person hesitantly writes a check for $500. A clock resets to 0. Indicating the statute of limitations has restarted. A zombie hand bursts from the ground labeled debt, symbolizing the revived debt. The debt collector smirks, holding the revived debt. The person looks frustrated, realizing their mistake. A montage of debt collectors sending similar letters to various people. People across different homes receive and react to the letters with confusion and fear. A close-up of a law book. Statute of limitations. A gavel slams down, representing legal action. A calendar flips rapidly, showing years passing. A house sits with a chain and lock labeled lien around it. The person stares at their house, worried. A visual of paperwork being shuffled and lost as the debt changes hands multiple times. A person at a desk, labeled Nick, looks serious and reviews notes. Nick addresses the audience, emphasizing the need to check for risk. A disclaimer appears, not legal advice, just financial common sense. Step 1 appears on screen. The title search. A person walks into a title company office. A clerk hands over a stack of documents labeled title search. The person scans the documents, looking for a release of lien or satisfaction of mortgage. A document from 2006 is found, but no release document is present. A worried look as the person realizes the lien is still there. Step 2 appears. Don't ignore the mail. A person receives a new letter from a debt collector. The person is tempted to throw it away but hesitates. A courtroom scene. An empty defendant's chair. A judge issues a default judgment. Step 3. The FDCPA and RESPA. A person writes and mails a debt validation letter. A debt collector receives the letter and looks annoyed. A chain of title is shown with missing links and lost paperwork. The debt collector struggles to find the necessary documents. Step 4. Negotiate the principal. A person and a lawyer sit across from a debt collector at a negotiation table. A chart shows the original debt $100,000 and the amount the collector paid $5,000. Collector offers to settle for $20,000. The lawyer advises the person, cautioning about restarting the statute of limitations. Nick relaxes. The tone becomes warmer and more encouraging. A montage of people checking their titles, warning family members, and feeling empowered. A ticking time bomb graphic appears, symbolizing hidden financial danger. A person smashes a like button on their device. Pop-up suggests watching another video about how credit card points are funded. Nick waves goodbye to the audience. The screen fades out with the message, "Knowledge is leverage. Protect your equity."